What's going on, guys? This is Demian from The Lookout, and I am here with Janemba support from the anniversary box. Yeah, so I've made a few videos for the anniversary box, and then Bandai dropped BT26 immediately the day afterwards. So I guess here we are. We're doing anniversary box. So we'll just be mixing it with BT26, I think. Anyways, is Janemba now insane? Not insane, but pretty good. Much better than it used to be. But guys, if you wish to play this deck, you can do so at Zenkai Showdown 4, 21st of September, the very first anniversary box legal event in the world. Link to the tickets is in the description below, and the winner wins an anniversary box. And of course, a huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons that buy us coffee, they keep this crazy content grind going. And guys, thanks out for your support. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to a patron is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video. As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So new anniversary box cards are here. We're gonna be talking about BT22 Janemba. Yes, it is time to dig into that shithole again. So we'll talk about new cards. I'm gonna show you a deck list, and then we'll just wrap it up with a very skippable summary. Let's go. Now you might be thinking, Demian, why did you just call this deck an absolute shithole? Well, you need context. There is context. My hatred for this deck is very well known. If you're someone who's completely new, you might have missed it. Anyway, go check out our Halloween special from last year, the flipping, and you will get a very, very clear image of my hatred for the Janemba deck. Yeah, I filmed an entire 20 plus minute long Halloween special dedicated to my hatred for this Janemba deck. So check it out, link is in the description below. For those of you fortunate enough to never have encountered the BT22 Janemba, let's go over the leader. So, you start the game with the field card in play. Okay, you don't draw an attack, you tutor. You tutor top 5 instead of drawing. Awakening is weird and it's kinda clunky, because it says if it's your opponent's turn, when your blue Janemba card with the cost of 2 or more is removed from the battle area by a skill or KO'd, you draw 2 and then you flip your leader. So, and you go to 6 lives. So, it's very clunky, but the existence of energy markers made it a bit less bad. On the awakened side, the leader is very weird. It's super weird, but also very strong. So you still tutor on attack, you don't get to draw on your turn at all. The leader just flat out doesn't draw on your turn. I mean, he draws if we count tutor, which I usually do. Instead, you get to draw 1 card and restand 1 energy during your opponent's turn, specifically when you play one of your Z extras. Yeah, you have a couple of Z extras, you need to use one as activate battle to play the other one, and then you get to draw 1 and restand. We also have 3 Z extras, but unlike Gotenks, we can have only 1 in play. So we have Shower. So this one basically restands Janemba. We have Demonic Blade, which is amazing, because it gives all of your Janembas plus 5k. Misspelled, who cares? Anyway, it gives all of your Janembas plus 5k, and there is a support Janemba in the deck, which allows you to make them 20, and then they roll 25k for free. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the last one is the hardest one to actually use. It steals a skill, and it gives it to Janemba. Last one is the hardest one to actually use properly, but it's a massive, massive payoff. To trigger any of these, you need to have one already in play, and then use its activate battle to remove it, gain its effect, and then play one of the other ones. That's how it works. Now we can finally start talking about new cards. First off, the Z Unison. Yes, now we have a Z Unison. 2 cost, 1 Z energy, 15k. It's a big one. So basically, activate main, play up to one evil incarnate or demon with cost of 2 or less from your hand, if you have the field card. So +1, play at 2 cost. Additionally, you may send 1 D magic from your drop into your warp, and if you do, you restand 1 blue energy at the end of your turn. That's huge. Like that's a really strong one. Because what you can do is you'll be always playing Heroic Prospect in this deck, and let's say that you don't have a way to restand for whatever reason, you basically warp one of the D magics because they're useless once they're in the drop. You restand one and then you slap your opponent with the Heroic Prospect. That's cool. Also, the auto is really solid because it gives the Unison some nice protection. It's just +0, you redirect an attack. And that's it. So Z Unison, pretty solid. Then we have the counter, which is the second best card here. Some might say the best, I don't think so. I think it's the second one. The counter attack is really good. Counter attack, it's a blocker. You negate the attack, you draw 1, and you play the blocker. For 2 energy though. So pay 2, negate the attack, play a blocker, and draw a card. On removal, you play a Z extra card. So when this card is removed, you play a Z extra. However, it has activate main/battle, limit 1 for 1 blue energy. If this is your leader and you have 3 or more, and you send this card to its owner's drop, you draw 1 and you play one of your boss monsters from hand. So play the boss monster for 1 and you draw a card. Finally, we have the best card, the new Janemba. 6 cost, but you play it for 1. This is the best new support card. This card is amazing. Permanent, your blue Janembas get +1k power. All of them are usually 19k, now all of them are 20. That is quite literally what the deck needed. Even more so, it works on your leader, so your leader is 16k. This is everything that the deck wanted. The biggest problem with the deck was that your opponent awakens is on 20 and then your deck just flops. Now all of your Janembas are 20k. It also has the activate main where you bounce it back, you bottom deck one of your opponent's cards, and then you play a 6 cost Janemba from your hand, which can be this one if you want it. So yeah, this card is the big game changer, which will make Janemba far more viable. Of course, it would be quite a dick move from me not to show you the deck, so here it is. Huge shout out to my dear friend and my co-host Peter Dance for providing me his list to test with, and then just I've made slight adjustments because I prefer playing more aggressive. It's 52 cards, though basically 51 once you get rid of the field, and you can probably cut something out as well. You're running full playsets of everything new. So you are running 4 copies of the counter, 4 copies of this Janemba, and you'll just run 2 copies of the Z Unison. Now the big difference that we have in our lists is that I go with full 4 copies of the crit Janemba and 4 copies of the double strike barrier one. It's just because I prefer the more aggressive playstyle that these Janembas have. Because once you get this one out, which gives them +1k, your crit guy is 1 energy 25k crit, your double striker is 1 energy 20k double barrier. So it gets crazy very fast. You also run 3 copies of the boss monster because it's your boss monster, plus it only costs 1 energy, so yeah, go and play it. If you get to, let's say, turn 3, you can play 2 copies of them, because basically this is limit 1 for 2 energy, and the other ability is also limit 1 for 1. So if you just happen to have them, you can play them. 3 copies of Heroic Prospect, this is, I think now it's getting the status of the staple blue Floodgate again, because of the blue Z Unisons. Just Floodgate your opponent. You can play it because you have the Janemba here, and of course the boss monster is the only one worth playing, not boss monster, SCR, Beast Gohan, because pay 2 to win the game is pretty good. Before we end the video, let's quickly jump into the summary. Janemba isn't bad anymore. That's the big deal. It's not bad anymore. The deck is now exceptionally strong and will likely be the next rogue deck. I don't think that it will be competitive, but I believe it's very high pilot skill. Like, this one is definitely high pilot skill when it comes to setting up your Z extras and dancing around them. It's not super easy to play, especially because to get your triggers for Z extras, it's activate battle. So you need sometimes to let the attack through, use the activate battle, then you draw one, restand one, and you try to get out of the swing. So it will require a high pilot skill, but I think that an exceptionally good pilot can top with this deck. Win? Not sure, but definitely top. It finally feels complete. It finally feels like it has everything it was supposed to have, and the deck is just amazing. I think it's amazing. It went from the worst deck that I've ever seen, not necessarily the worst, but definitely up there, to an amazing deck that I have been even I've been testing it, and I love it. So go and give it a go. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, will you try out this deck? Have you already tried out the deck with the new support? Have you been testing? How do you feel about this deck? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And while you're here, hit those like and subscribe buttons, share the video, help us grow, help us get to 6k subs when I'm gonna give away a booster box. This has been Demian from the Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.